Subhajit Roy, do you see some parallel between the Swiss position and Indian position when dealing with conflicts and crises, like maintaining a certain notion of neutrality? I see alike in our pursuit for peace. The Prime Minister Modi made it clear in Poland that this is not an era of war. So the message is clear and consistent. Switzerland is neutral because we too want peace, and that was a good strategy. There, we are fully aligned. In my assessment, a country of importance like India has a role to play that is bigger than neutrality. India is not the India of after independence. India is growing power. So, the more powerful you are, the more influence you have, the more responsibilities you have. India is influencing world affairs in a way that a country like Switzerland is not doing when it comes to geopolitics. Switzerland can influence the world through a way of foreign policy based on peaceful relations and attaching importance to international humanitarian law. We are in a time of geopolitics, and India is in that space. Looking at what the Prime Minister Modi is doing, he is very mindful of that. Subhajit Roy, since the crisis in the Middle East is still festering, what's your sense of how this conflict is playing out? When it comes to Israel and Palestine, we launched what is called the Geneva Initiative, where we try to bring people from Israel and Palestine together to come up with a potential solution to the intrinsic challenges and problems that the region and the two authorities have. Switzerland's diplomacy has been active in the Middle East in the past, and we have been consistently working for a two-state solution. It is clear what is happening in the Middle East is highly risky. So, over the last 2 years, we have been very consistent with our approach to the conflict. We made it clear that international humanitarian law has to be respected because if that is respected, the damages of a war or a conflict are limited. Then go into a settlement of the conflict when both parties are being held accountable according to international humanitarian law. Vidita Mishra, what, according to you, is the reason for the emergence of India at this moment? Because of geopolitics and economic trends, India is for Switzerland a partner of choice. We have been friends since the beginning because the first friendship treaty that was signed, India signed with Switzerland. So we have been friends for 75 years. And for that reason, we signed a partnership agreement. And as an ambassador of Switzerland to India, I confirm that India is a plus one for many Swiss companies that want to diversify their global presence. So, economically, India is in a good spot. It's good if democracies work together, and the elections this year show to the world that India is a vibrant democracy. So, working with a democracy is something that Swiss people and businesses definitely cherish. We have something in common that goes beyond business interest. I feel a sense that the world is changing and that the countries of this world want to see a different world, different structures, different institutions adapted to the realities of today. India is clearly well positioned because India has always been an important country, and in this geopolitical situation, you are very well placed to have an impact. Subhajit Roy, how do you see India's relationship with China? It is intertwined economically but strategically at complete loggerheads. How do you see this dichotomy? What India is trying to navigate is something that the whole world is also trying to navigate. The relations with China and the changing international landscape, Switzerland has a long standing relationship with China. We would like to have good relations with each and every country and don't want to choose between this country and another country. We want to see a peaceful world and see economic freedom and expansion of economic globalization. Anil Sasi, have the events of October 7 and the subsequent Israeli offensive on Gaza and then the Iranian involvement made the two state solution even more difficult. Who would have thought in 1945 that Europe would turn into a European Union and that those states that fought each other and destroyed each other would be truly friends and would support each other in difficult situations? If you have a look at the Middle East, peace is possible. Israel made peace with Egypt, and Egypt made peace with Israel, and that was after a war. Just imagine how the state of Israel was forgiving towards Germany in a way that those two states have good relations. So peace is possible and it has been proven several times in the region. You have an enormous capacity for forgiveness in that region too. So, for that reason, I remain deeply convinced and optimistic that something good will come out, even if it looks incredibly sad and destructive at this point. P. Ayer, Switzerland has its relations with China. How do you feel sandwiched? How much do you feel sandwiched between two big powers, the US and China? It's not the first time that we are in this situation. Look at Switzerland's history. We were in the middle of Europe, and all our neighbors were either already nation states like France or were uniting as nation states like Italy and Germany. All these states kept making wars regularly, and some of them turned into world wars. As a country, we have been in the toughest neighborhood of this world until this changed in 1945 and then in 1990 even more. We know how to adapt to a changing environment. At the end of the day, we have to define what Switzerland is. Our values, identity, democracy, and peaceful way of doing things. And based on our economic interest, these will be the different equations that we have to look at in order to position ourselves. It will also depend on how much competition or even confrontation there is between the different powers of this world. The majority of the countries on this planet want to have a peaceful planet. We will find ourselves in almost all situations with a lot of other countries that want the same thing.